Everything Everywhere All at Once is a 2022 action, adventure, comedy, sci-fi, everything genre film written and directed by Dan Kwan and Daniel Schurner, and to tell you exactly what it's about would be nearly impossible. You should really just go in as blindly as possible, but to give you a simple idea of the plot, you have an Asian family headed up by Evelyn who gets caught up in the middle of a war going on throughout the multiverse, which she herself must traverse through in order to adapt different skills that her other identities have learned throughout their lives in order to truly save the day and become the best version of herself. This film's insane. Insane. I don't even know where to begin with it because pretty much in every department, the film has blown me away, but particularly with the editing. This is an example of a film where the editor clearly had a challenge in front of them and they took it head on. And the end result is it's not just something spectacular, but I'd venture to say it's the best editing I think I've ever seen in film, period. I can't even imagine the challenge the editor had to go through to make it flow the way that it does, while also juggling all this multiverse of madness stuff going on simultaneously. As an editor, I find this film beautiful, and I just have to give the editor here a shout out. IMDb lists off the editor, one editor by the way, as Paul Rogers, so shout out to you dude, because without you I have no idea how the film would have worked. So I now have an example of the best edited film out there, and worst. The worst being Resident Evil, the final chapter. I'm sorry, but what a piece of crap as far as editing is considered. It's not just the editing for this film though. Like I said, everything felt like a risk and a challenge here. They put their best foot forward out there when they made this film. They closed their eyes, they took a leap of faith, and they landed on gold. Everything from the performances that ranged from hilarious to super serious to emotionally weepy was absolutely perfect. The writing of the dialogue and how oddball it gets to be at times was perfect, which kind of just adds to the absolute originality that you find with the film. The mere fact that it's technically a convoluted film, yet paced perfectly, is testament to how fresh the film feels as a whole. Seriously. I fought with myself over its pacing because sure, sometimes it felt confusing, sometimes it felt like it wouldn't ever end, sometimes it felt like there was just too much going on all at once, and yet that's the point. And because that's the point, the pacing is immaculate. This is a film that I feel like you could immediately turn on again and watch all over because it's just so entertaining. It has a little bit of everything for anybody who's watching. It has that emotion, it has that action that you love if you're a fan of martial arts, it has an assortment of really entertaining characters, all of which kind of have their own motivations going on that, even though they can be silly, you still relate to their motivations deep down inside, even when we're talking about incredibly small, unimportant side characters that you never thought that they'd focus on. They focus on. It's crazy. You connect probably the most with the family dynamic of the film. What is Everything Everywhere All at Once? Family is everything. Family is everywhere all at once. And underneath all that sci-fi, all that action, all that humor, silly scenes, there's a beautiful message going on here in regards to family and stuff that really, truly matters, and I can't not praise it for that. The only reason I watched this movie is because everybody seemed to be talking about it, but I'm glad that I did see it. It continues to prove to me that the top of the box office charts means literally nothing. It doesn't mean movies there are great, it means people are paying to see them. Honestly, Everything Everywhere All at Once deserves to be on the top of some kind of official list or chart because it's one of the most unique, original, refreshing films I've not only seen this year, but I've ever seen. That's why when we look at my final score for a second, it's one of the rare instances that I scored something perfect across the board, a perfect unbiased, a perfect bias score that makes for a 100% rated movie and a letter grade of A+. Obviously, to give you an idea of how truly high I score this film, it's only the sixth movie, that I've ever given a perfect score to. 6 out of thousands of movies that I've scored. That's it. I'm incredibly selective and picky when it comes down to rating movies, so this is definitely something that I highly recommend you check out if you've never seen it. But if you have, what did you think about it? I mean, is it worth the hype in your opinion? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Why or why not? And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with the next review. Until then, peace out!